Worldwide Hippies presents Hippie News and Stuff with Winston Smith and the Worldwide Hippies News Team.
Welcome to Hippie TV News and Stuff for the week of November 2nd. Brought to you by worldwidehippies.com, citizen journalism on the web. I am Winston Smith. TRON Light-cycle, the doc is here. Ed Croft has some thoughts on Oakland war zone. World's population hits 7 billion. God will make you lazy. Hippie has an about face. The Mikel K minute. Premature orgasm for women. Our asshole of the week, and more. Top story. Then they came for your birth control. Mother Jones reported last week that personhood amendment on the Mississippi ballot in November doesn't just ban all abortions, it would also outlaw all types of birth control in the state. Mississippi anti-abortion activists want to define personhood as starting when a sperm fertilizes an egg. The measure would also make Plan B, also known as the morning after pill, illegal. This high dose of hormones is used to prevent a woman from ovulating, but anti-abortion groups also insist that it can prevent a fertilized egg from implanting, despite the fact that scientists say there is no evidence that that is the case. Needless to say, anti-abortion groups don't like Plan B very much either. Generally, the pill, as well as the shot, the patch, and the ring, work by stopping ovulation. But some anti-abortion groups argue that there can be failures on that front, and that the doses of hormones could possibly also work by stopping implantation should an egg and sperm still manage to meet up. Worldwide Hippies suggest that a law preventing right-wing Christian Republicans and teabaggers from meeting up or forming alliances be enacted. Then you may see life on the whole planet thrive. Just a suggestion. And here to speak more about alliances is the doc.
What's up, Doc?
Hey, Bugs, thanks very much. Winston. Good day to you and hippies everywhere. Some authorities are recommending that the Occupy Wall Street folks should find ways to create an alliance with the jihadists and thereby join the two disparate streams of U.S. disaffection into one mighty torrent. But I gotta tell you, that'd lose me enthusiastically. Why, I'd never ally with the teabaggers. My dear old daddy, dandling me on his dear old knee, imparted a bit of wisdom to me in the old days. He said, "Laddie, you cannot negotiate with them at once you're dead and done. You've got no leverage, you see. You cannot offer them only a part of you. Tell them, here's me left hand, I ain't using it much. Take that and leave me alone." But they won't leave you alone, that is, you see. Aye, they'll take your hand if you're dumb enough to proffer it, but they want you dead. That makes it the easier later, and they got plenty of time. And your left hand. My biggest objection to the whole Tea Party phenomenon thing is that it never has been anything other than an astroturf creation of Dick Armey, the Koch brothers, and Fox News, cannibalizing on the still reeking warm remains of lumpen racism embedded in the GOP Southern strategy. I want nothing to do with anyone who voluntarily identify as a T-headist or who wouldn't shun them with me. I feel exactly pretty much the same way about, well, actually the exact same way about St. Paul, Ron Paul's acolytes. I call them the Paulips, as I think of them, feeding on the contents of the Ayn Rand fanatics' political lower intestine. Ayn Rand, in any guise, in my opinion, brings to whatever discussion into which her name is introduced the same considerations which coprophagy brings to the discussion of cuisine. There's zero common ground for an agreement on such sentiments, and also zero room for compromise, in my humble opinion, on the actual purposes, proper structures, and orderly function of culture and society. No agreement. No thanks, not going there. See you at the beach, hippies.
Thanks, Doc. Your weekly visits are as welcome as deja vu to an Alzheimer's patient. And this, according to the U.S. government, hourly wages have increased by $1.32 in the past 36 years, and that's not adjusted for inflation. But here's something cool. the lithium-powered TRON Light-cycle. It's the creation of Parker Brothers choppers out of Florida and Evolved Motorcycles, a made-in-America startup building electric scooters that are actually pretty cool. Since the latest lithium-ion batteries are so small thanks to the cell phone engineers, motorcycle designers can go nuts with the new concept, and this baby is proof. With a top speed of 110 miles per hour, this machine has a range of 100 miles and is recharged and ready to go, fully charged after 1/2 an hour. With a price tag of $55,000 and an optional battery that doubles the range for another $15,000 more, you can look forward to the top 1%ers driving these babies by Wall Street occupiers every weekend starting in the spring. Occupy Oakland. Here is Ed Croft with his observations.
Thanks, Winston. I'd like to take a moment and talk about the Occupy movement. Now, the Occupy movement is growing worldwide, but in particular I want to talk about the Oakland movement. Recently, the Oakland movement had a setback. The cops were called in, told to clear them out and everything, but the cops went overboard. They started firing rubber bullets, throwing tear can canisters, and some said flash bombs or whatever. Well, what happened was one of those tear can canisters hit a young Marine vet. He was hit in the head and it fractured his skull. He was laying there unconscious, and some of the protesters ran back to try to help him, and one of the cops dropped back and threw a canister right in the midst of him. That cop should be fired. He should be thrown in jail. But let's get beyond that. Scott had a fractured skull and was taken into the hospital. At first, the doctors didn't give much hope, but the warrior that he was, he woke up and he gave them fresh hope. So much so that the doctors were ready to go in and perform surgery to try to fix his brain, his skull too. Now, as to the thuggery by the police, it appears that they weren't around during Kent State. They didn't learn that lesson. The National Guard had gone into Kent State firing bullets. They killed 4 people dead. 1 paralyzed, numerous wounded. That was a game changer for that movement. It grew. It grew from there. Just as right now, I have seen Occupy Marines, Occupy Navy, and Occupy Air Force on Facebook, all standing up, all vets saying, hey, we're standing with the occupiers. Just waiting for the Army and the Coast Guard to join in on this. Hey guys. So, this movement is really starting to grow, and the brutality of the police are helping rather than hindering. They thought they would be able to stop it, but they've given it new feed, new inspiration to go. My heart goes out to Scott, to his family, and my prayers go out for a quick recovery. My heart goes out to all the people who are on the streets for the Occupy movements. And I ask that if you can, if you have winter weather gear and everything that you can give them, loan out to them, what have you, if you can get to the nearest Occupy movement and help them out with some winter gear, they plan on sticking it out through the winter. I give them hope, and I give them my prayers. My heart to your heart. One heart, one spirit. I hope. Back.
Thanks, Brother Ed, and keep up the howl. World's population officially reached 7 billion October 31st, according to the State of the World Population 2011 published by the United Nations Population Fund. Each year, around 80 million are added to the world's population, a number roughly equivalent to the population of Germany, Vietnam, or Ethiopia after a reign. Now, here's the profound, the surreal, the naked Mikel K minute.
Okay, Mikel K minute. I'm
not feeling very good today. I think my blood pressure's up. I feel a little dizzy. But I'm still going to bring you the Mikel K Minute here at worldwidehippies.com. I'm a stripper. I need your love. I stand naked before you with my heart in my hands. Isn't that a scary thought, folks? Me, naked in front of you, my heart in my hands. This is called Catholic tits. Catholic tits desiring not a caress, a lick, a bite that leads to fornication. Catholic tits that make no mention of the word love, just husband, husband, husband. Somebody else's rules and regulations for your body, for your mind, must be met before Catholic tits seeking, wanting, yearning. Catholic tits laying home alone in bed at night. Because of her. Because of her, he bit his nail so hard that his finger started bleeding. Because of her, he bit his nail so hard that his finger started bleeding. The pain surprised him. He wanted to cry, not because of his fingernail, but because of her. This is called All That Matters. She's the queen of in and out. She's the master of one-night stands. See her fall so gracefully onto the mattress with a wine glass in her hand. In the morning, she's not sure if she's been good or bad. All that matters is that the children don't know. Well, you didn't want a virgin, but she's gone too far. Will you laugh or cry when she puts a bullet in her head? I'm trying to stay away from any political talk, any thoughts about the revolution this week. Back to you, Winston.
Thanks, Michael. By the way, t-shirts are on sale at the store, man. $15 plus shipping. And this, scientists say God makes you lazy. No matter if you're a believer, thinking about God and religion may turn you into a slacker. According to a new study researcher and wacko Kristen Lauren of the University of Waterloo in Canada said without giving her source in a statement, this is the first empirical evidence that simple reminders of God can diminish some types of self-regulation, such as pursuing one's goal. Yet it can also improve others, such as resisting temptation. Why, I'm doing that right now, Christian, thinking about you. The researcher thinks, operant word here, think, the lack of effort in the religious prime group could be dictated by a belief that fate is in God's hands. If a student believes that God controls their destiny, trying to do better isn't going to help them actually be better, resulting in less effort. This entire thought process seems to be unconscious. The presence of God conjuring words or images could alter behavior. The fact that this study got published at all proves that Canadian universities are as fucked up with needless taxpayer-funded researchers and studies as the United States. Then again, maybe this explains why God lets bad things continue here on Earth. He's too lazy to fix them. I was just saying. Now, speaking of the reason it's always sunny in California, here is Hippie.
Thanks, Winston. Happy Halloween. Halloween was brought to North America by immigrants from Europe who would celebrate the harvest around a bonfire, share ghost stories, sing, dance, and tell fortunes. Folklore dictates that if you see a spider on Halloween, it's the spirit of a loved one watching over you. The Ouija board ended up outselling the game of Monopoly on its first year of sale. Over 2 million copies of the Ouija board were shipped. Bobbing for apples is said to have originated from the Roman harvest festival that honors Pomona, the goddess of fruit trees. The mask used by Michael Myers in the movie Halloween was actually a William Shatner Star Trek mask painted white. Orange and black are Halloween colors because orange is associated with the fall harvest and black is associated with darkness and death. Jack-o'-lanterns originated in Ireland when people placed candles and hollowed out turnips to keep away spirits and ghosts on the Samhain holiday. Trick-or-treating harks back to the Middle Ages and All Souls' Day, when poor people in Britain would beg for soul cakes, a sweet bread treat, and pray for dead relatives in return. Candy corn has been made with the same recipe by the Jelly Belly Candy Company since around 1900. It's made of sugar, corn syrup, and marshmallow. Chocolate candy bars top the list as the most popular candy for trick-or-treaters, with Snickers at number 1. Milk chocolate is good for no more than 8 to 10 months, while dark chocolate lasts up to 2 years. Have a safe and happy holiday from WorldwideHippies.com. Back to you, Winston.
Thanks, Hippie. Beautiful. Late breaking story. Men aren't the only ones who might find themselves peaking too early in the sack. According to a new study, women also experience premature orgasm. The research found that 40% of women came to orgasm faster than they intended to during sex. For this group, female premature orgasm is more than just bothersome, said the study researcher. We think it's as serious a distress as it is in men. But that's okay, honey. We can just cuddle. Oh, I hear it's time for our Asshole of the Week. And this week it goes to Andrew Cuomo for his covert actions to use violence against law-abiding protesters in Albany last week. It seems that little crybaby Andy doesn't like Occupy Wall Street protesters pointing their fingers at him. Andy, the Daddy's Wall Street Friends Got Me Elected governor, has been the pivot man between Wall Street and austerity programs to gut the middle class and poor of New York State. The protesters are doing what the corporate media won't, that is, calling him out on it. Andy the hey, don't you know who I am corporate toady wants to give the top 1%ers a tax break. He says that it's to keep them from leaving the state. Andy the sneak pressured the mayor of Albany to forcefully remove protesters from the Capitol, but the police chief and prosecutor told the mayor and Cuomo to stick it. The governor's office has said that the state was simply enforcing a curfew, but the Times-Union of Albany reported Thursday that the curfew was created by the governor's administration just last week. Can we say blatantly misusing elected office and conspiracy? Felonies, by the way, Andy. They're wonderful people, the Albany County District Attorney David Soares said in a telephone interview. Mr. Soares said law enforcement officials had found representatives of Occupy Albany to be very reasonable people. There are children, there are grandparents and families that are there protesting, he said. They are people singing songs and eating cider donuts. They're doing it peacefully, they're letting their frustrations and opinions be heard, and they're exercising what they're entitled to under our Constitution. So, for undermining the Constitution and using the power of your office to incite violence, you, Andrew Cuomo, are not only guilty of breaking several federal and state laws, you are a Worldwide Hippies Asshole of the Week. By the way, Andy, the one-term governor, your governor's mansion is owned by the people. We can occupy it any time we want, so watch your step, asshole. That's it for this week. Please visit worldwidehippies.com for more news and original articles from some of the best writers on the web. And support Worldwide Hippies by making a donation or visiting our store so we can keep up the howl for peace and justice. And you will see us here next Monday.